Good evening, Tomasio here, and we are dealing with a lot of interesting things, including Donald Trump canceling his 25,000 person event tonight in, I believe he was in Detroit, no, Chicago. I think it was Chicago tonight. So there were tons of protesters there. Chris Brown put out a rally cry, go out there because somebody got punched at a Trump rally earlier, African American guy who was giving everybody the finger. So now this is Ben Carson has come out and endorsed Donald Trump. Ben Carson, as you know, is an African American neurosurgeon, brilliant man, Christian, pro-life, just amazing guy. But like Trump would always say, kind of low energy. So he wasn't able to get the enthusiasm going for his campaign. But anyway, he comes out and supports Trump. As an African American, he comes out and supports Trump. Today. That happened today, okay? So, this is typical. This is what's going on. You've got to understand that this is taking place right now. And it's really, really bad. So you have LifeSite News. LifeSite News, which they put out all this pro-life information, stories, all kinds of stuff, that most of it is fairly good, okay? But they have a political side to them that is really bad. They, they were all over Romney, Romney. Now they're all against Trump. So here's a great story that pro-life Ben Carson comes out, supports Donald Trump today, saying he loves America. And what do? They take the story and then they run their garbage in it. All of a sudden you're reading, okay, you can have a very good conversation with him, says Carson. That's the Donald Trump you're going to start to see more and more of right now. Then next you know, there's like, sign the pledge. I pledge to vote for a pro-life candidate for president in blue. So then Carson keeps going, we buried the hatchet. How could you vote for a guy like that? It's about America. This is what we have to be thinking about. Endorsement comes right before Florida. Then all of a sudden the conversation shifts. Trump has taken pro-life positions on abortion, but concerned pro-life voters with his praise for Planned Parenthood. Earlier this month, Trump praised the nation's biggest abortion conglomerate. Blah, 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 blah. 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 Like some pro-life voters, Susan B. Anthony lists President Marjorie Dannenfelser has had enough. She's tired of listening to Trump, who's ostensibly run for a reliable pro-life campaign up until recently praised Planned Parenthood. Mr. Trump has repeatedly said as president he will defund Planned Parenthood as long as they continue to do abortion. We applaud him for this stand, but ask that he reconsider his repeated assertion that the group does wonderful things beyond abortion. According to the group's own annual reports, this could not be further from the truth. Planned Parenthood is a profit-driven, abortion-centered business and a bad investment for taxpayers. A new Center for Medical Progress released this week showed once again that Planned Parenthood's highest executives are willing to engage in the harvest and sale of body parts of aborted children. We asked Mr. Trump to watch this. Mr. Trump's silence on this horror at the core of Planned Parenthood needs to end. So that's what they do with a Ben Carson endorsement. They use it to promote this Marjorie lady and her anti-Trump crusade. Okay, so Dannenfelser is on an anti-Trump crusade. Now, why are they going to sabotage what Ben Carson just did today with their own agenda? That's the kind of stuff that drives me nuts. Give the story about Carson, listen to what Carson has to say about Trump, and stop trying to A, slander the man, B, implement your own agenda. Now, is that really what you should be focused on right now in the world, in America, is the fact that Donald Trump is going to defund Planned Parenthood, but at the same time is recognizing that there are other things that Planned Parenthood does beside abortion. But he said he's going to defund Planned Parenthood. That's the end of the story. He will, as long as they continue to do abortions, he's defunding Planned Parenthood. So why are you going to say, oh, well, he shouldn't say that they do good things, even if he's pro-life, and even if he's going to defund Planned Parenthood? I don't like him saying that they do good things. Doesn't he? Do you understand what we're dealing with here? This is a woman who is so remarkably stuck that she has to be right, and the bottom line is he's going to defund Planned Parenthood, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he's going to defund Planned Parenthood. It matters that even though he's going to defund them, he's saying they do good things. So in the meantime, you have ISIS destroying horribly killing Christians, nuns. Women are being raped. Okay, this is horrible. You have riots breaking out in America. You have sexual trafficking going on. You have so much corruption going on right now. And Trump is stepping forward in a big way, addressing radical Islam and their hatred towards America. He's sounding the alarm. He's saying, America, we're in big trouble. Yes, I'm going to defund Planned Parenthood. But at the same time, they do some other things besides. So what's wrong with these people? Are they that narrow and that limited? They're going to strain at a net, is what they're doing. Okay, in the midst of everything else that's happening, they're willing to sacrifice our nation's security by turning against Donald Trump because he said Planned Parenthood does things beside abortion that are helpful. Right or wrong, you don't come against a man who's trying to literally protect and save America from horrible things. From the bankruptcy's horrible, bad deals, bad trade, ISIS. What is wrong with these people? These are quote-unquote pro-life people who can't see past their nose. That's the problem. They can't see past their nose. They're critical of Pope Francis, right? They're not critical just of you, Donald Trump. They're critical of Pope Francis, too. He's not doing enough for them. And, you know, you have these pro-life leaders who are so full of themselves that they can't even see what's good for the nation. Okay? I can guarantee this guy behind me wants Donald Trump to be president. You understand? Trump is pro-life. He will end abortions as much as he can. He will do that. He's already said he will do it. Okay? And he will also give pro-life leaders a chance to educate the country about the horrors of abortion. Donald Trump is in a step in the right direction, people, from this current administration or from Hillary Clinton. Okay? So I need to address that. Dr. Ben Carson, thank you for your endorsement for Donald Trump, because there's so much racial slander going on that Trump somehow, you know, is prejudiced, but the reality is he's not, and you know he's not, otherwise you wouldn't have endorsed him. So I think Ben Carson, I think Donald Trump should seriously consider Ben Carson as vice president. I know there's plenty of vice presidents, but you can't have these African Americans thinking that Trump is racist. And so Carson's the only solution to that. So I would say, Dr. Carson, you know, step up in that capacity and address the African Americans and tell them to calm down so that Trump can have his rallies and continue this campaign. It's very important that Ben Carson, thank you for doing what you're doing. And LifeSite News, you need to seriously regroup. I'm telling you, you need to regroup.